What is going on, Zinger Nation? How's everyone doing today? Welcome back to another episode of the After Hours Show. I'm your host, Ryan Rozbiani, and today we're going to be talking about the big flash crash that we had with crypto today. It was very odd. Just out of nowhere, we had like a 10K drop. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the stocks that are running. BBIG, SBET, all your favorites. VIH is having a little bit of a short squeeze in itself every single day. It looks like it wants to do like a $1 move up and down. SoFi's back in the rankings and making moves. We've got a lot to talk about. So without further ado, let's play the little intro that we have and let's get started. All right. So you guys caught me tweeting out the link to the video. So let's jump right into it. We got to start off by talking about Bitcoin. So what exactly happened today? So let's go to like a 30-minute chart. That's not going to be a small interval enough. I want to catch the exact dip happening. 10-minute. We'll have to go to like a 1 minute, I guess. We had such a violent drop. I'm going to turn off our EMAs and everything just so we can have everything there. We had such a violent drop. It looked like it was like little micro falls, like so between the 3rd and 9th, and then it started just tanking, leveled off. Then you had like a big 2.27% drop and just leveled off here. And then bam, just had a massive drop. It was wild. So if we want to like see from this point at least to this point, it was about a 13% drop, about a $6,600 drop. Massive drop. It was really wild to see. Jeff, what's going on, buddy? Welcome back to the show. Jeff, a loyal watcher, loyal supporter, loyal viewer. Thank you so much for coming back. But if we look at the 1 hour and kind of just zoom out a little bit, this was wild. This was not normal. It just came down, but it looks like it's kind of mellowing itself out around the $46,000, $47,000 area. It's kind of finding its legging there and kind of trying to fight back. But I'm seeing a lot of weird theories out there. A lot of people are saying this is because of the adoption of crypto as a currency. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, and it kind of affected a lot of the different kind of facets. It felt like a targeted attack, like a flash crash. And I know it happened to a lot of stuff. So there, a lot of different. Gavin, I'm not answering that. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. So we had a bit of a flash crash here. It's done. So it's done for now. It's kind of cooling off. I want to take a look at some of the big Bitcoin stocks that everyone likes to talk about. We'll start off with taking a look at Mara. Okay, guess not MMA, but Mara, M-A-R-A, Marathon Digital Holdings. If we take a look at them, I think it'll be beneficial if we kind of parallel with Bitcoin so we can see exactly how the drops affected these stocks directly. We go to like a 1 hour chart here. You can see here, Mara was also affected dramatically by this one. It came down to 38.66. Mara had a bit of a drop in itself, 3.78% drop, and now it kind of mellowed out. But it's kind of settled itself out around the 39.40 area here for Mara. So it kind of settled down here. And if you look here, Bitcoin is making a parallel style movement on this move right here. So it's kind of parallel out, but Mara kind of took a big hit. This is a big down move. But if we go into the past of Mara for where Bitcoin was when Bitcoin was 43,000, Mara was trading at 30. So it looks like Mara and Bitcoin, look at the Mara holders or Mara investors at this point, we're like, all right, we get it. Like this is a flash crash. This will probably heal itself. And the synergy and sync between Mara and kind of Bitcoin is kind of syncing up more. It used to be 1-to-1 before, whereas for every $1,000 of Bitcoin, it was $1 of Mara. And now we're getting very close. It's 40 to 46 now, which is a lot closer than what it was before. Because like if you take a look here, it was $30 when Bitcoin for the first time hit like 46,000. When it hit 37, it was $26. So as you can see here, the synergy is sort of there. Now the fun new Bitcoin stock that I'm having a lot of fun with and just loving to death is Hut 8. Hut 8 was unfazed, ultimately unfazed by this. Hut 8 dropped 5%, and then 5% had a 10% drop, and then like quickly recovered back to its $10 threshold area. But you might be saying, like, this is a 10% drop. Like, why is it unfazed? Like, why is it not a big deal? This is why. If we go to the daily chart on Hut and kind of look at where the $10 area is, which is literally right here around this point, when Bitcoin was in like the 51, 52s, Hut was trading between 10 and 11. Today, Bitcoin came to like 43.5, and Hut was trading at a low of $9.30. It goes back to my thesis of what I discussed with you guys well, I didn't discuss with you guys, but I put out a video on my YouTube channel, which you guys can see. I'll show you how to get there in a second. That Hut proportionally is undervalued proportionally to Mara and Riot. If you guys know me, you guys know I'm not a big fan of Riot. I don't like them. I think Mara was always better, and Mara will always be better. So I think that at that point, Hut right now is standing out as an undervalued champ. And I think by the end of the year, we could see 15 to 20 on Hut. Now, SOS, this is one that I'm not a big fan of. It made me a tremendous amount of money. Many, many moons ago, back when it was trading in like the $15 area, I played it from 5 to 12.30, and then like 11 to like 15, something like that. And yeah, definitely Riot. Gavin's right. Riot is no Mara. Mara is way better than Riot. Gavin, you're 100% right. But SOS took so Gavin's got the best comments in the chat, but for we're not going to read them out loud because some of them will be read the wrong way. But SOS is not an EV play, but I mean, SOS is as much an EV play as it is a Bitcoin mining play. I'm totally joking. There's more of a Bitcoin mining play. It's not an EV play at all, but we will definitely have to see how it plays out. But if we look at SOS took a 2 and 4%, so about a 7% dive here, and kind of mellowed out in the 260s point. But this is what I don't understand. So I want to focus on SOS for 1 second. SOS, I don't understand the appeal of it as a Bitcoin miner because their Bitcoin mining faction is so small. I'm just going to turn off Bollinger Bands here for a second so we kind of get like a bit of a scale. And it's the 50 MA is it closed above the 50 today. No, it didn't. It closed below the 50 today. I'm going to turn off the 50. I'm just going to leave the 9 EMA. If we look at it here, like, look, during this whole transition and transaction with SOS and Bitcoin ramping up, SOS hasn't moved. That's what I don't understand. Is like, there's so many better other alternatives to Bitcoin miners. Like, it doesn't have to be Hut or Mara or whatever you want to call it. But like, SOS doesn't move. It doesn't have the appeal. It doesn't have that Bitcoin oomph to it because really it's an insurance company. So I think, like, I don't understand why traders love it. I guess like you could trade it and it can move 11%, move 5%. But I mean, as a hodler, if you're trying to like invest in a Bitcoin miner, SOS doesn't make sense to me personally. I don't understand. Mike Fusion, I 1000% agree with you. Gerg is definitely a national treasure. Any idea what SPACs were dumping today? Bark, Pretore, but we could talk about them. I'll talk to you about my thesis on SPACs as well. Yeah, Quentin, SOS no bueno. Not a fan of it. Totally there with you. Richard, what's going on, buddy? Welcome to the chat. Tony B, Mike Fusion, I see you guys in there. Continuing on in this, I got to talk about Riot because Riot had a massive sell. Form 4 was filed with a massive sell of 3 million shares from Northern Data AG. They were given shares and now they're selling them off dramatically. And Riot took a 6% dump, and then Northern AG filed around 4 p.m. today that they sold 3 million shares. But in the after hours, I guess volume is super low in the after hours, but I think tomorrow we'll see a violent reaction. Market cap of Riot is about $3 billion now. Mara is at almost a $4 billion market cap, just a hair short of $4 billion. But this is the way that I'm kind of looking at these two now. Is Mara and Riot's kind of market cap was leading Mara for a while, and then Riot decided to make really, really bad deals, and it kind of caught up to them, and it caught up to them violently, and they're losing it a bit. But I think that's enough for the Bitcoin play. I have to talk about NE and SPRT real quick because I know you guys love them. It held this guy. Any and SPRT don't really move with Bitcoin as much as people like to pump it online. They're really momentum plays right now. They're moving on volume. And really, if you look here on the daily chart, volume has dissipated on any. Volume has dissipated. I believe on SPRT, we'll take a look at it. But if we kind of look here, if you're a technical trader, you lost the 9 EMA. So any right now is needing to kind of find its footing. It did hold 572. I don't like one candle supports. That's not how I trade. You could argue that this is where you would have some support around the 528 area, but I guess we will definitely have to see how that plays out. But any has definitely lost a lot of its momentum here. As you can see, the volume has dropped tremendously. Price action isn't really there like it used to be last week. So it's one of those plays where it's one of those momentum plays that lost its luster. SPRT, we can take a look at them as well. If you look here, parallel move. Look, volume is dissipated. RSI is dissipated. Your MACD is going into the red. Same thing. Look, a lot of pumpers online will be like, SPRT is going to make a massive move tomorrow. Bitcoin's going to the moon. Look, SPRT never moved with Bitcoin. It will never move with Bitcoin until that deal is done, until their mining operations are like rocking and rolling. Momentum plays. I've told you guys this before too. If the volume isn't there, your biggest indicator is volume. If the volume isn't there, volume is dissipating, your momentum play is no longer a momentum play. A momentum play requires volume. So we talked about them. Any other ones that you guys like, you can throw into the chat, and I'll take a look at them later. But I would be remiss if we didn't talk about Clove today. Clove had a massive move, bit of a shorty squeeze, right? A bit of a short squeeze. People are calling it a short squeeze. A move from a close on Friday of $8.84 to $10.80, massive 22% move. A bump of 1.57% in the after hours. It's doing its thing. It's having fun. It's kind of chugging its way up. Just boom, 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 boom. No slowdown here. Essentially using VWAP and the 9 EMA support all day. Really didn't miss a beat. But again, why is this momentum play working versus SPRT and any? There was volume. If you look here, when this, this is just an example. I'm trying to emphasize on you for those of you who like to, because a lot of new traders like to play momentum plays. They're looking for the next momentum play. If you enter here and you get this pop, congratulations. But when volume starts to dissipate and you don't have like a stop loss, you're going to eternally bleed. So let's say you added Clove here back in June at $11 in hopes of a second pop. Well, you got one here. If you weren't greedy, you would have sold. But if you re-entered mindlessly in hopes of another pop again here at 13, you're still red. You need volume for momentum plays in order to be able to print. Just keep that in mind. That is the most important thing for momentum plays, is you need volume. And Clove did its thing. Could Clove keep going tomorrow? Yes, if volume is there. You close above all the technical indicators. I do see that Clove has a pattern of maybe 1 to maximum 2 days of pops. But if you look, it's really a one-stop day situation for plays like Clove. Maybe 2 days, maybe 3. But I'd be very careful. I take my profits, and I'd be very, very smart with how I move with a play like Clove because of how fast it goes up and down. So just keep that in mind if you're playing Clove. By the way, do me a solid. Smash that like button if you're watching this, you're asking questions. It helps the algorithm, and we can keep this thing moving. So Clove was discussed. Clove was a big mover today. I got to talk about SBET. SBET is one that my team and I added last week down here in the low 5 area because we kind of saw, was it here? I think it was somewhere here or somewhere here. I don't remember exactly. I'm personally not in it, so I don't know exactly. Can't tell you like I got an average of ABC. So I'm personally not in this play, but it's a play that I showed my team. I was like, hey, it's got a low mover. It's got volume is coming in a bit, and volume picked up today. Had a bit of an 8% mover here. Fantastic move. Folks need to start to appreciate more 8%, 10%, 20% movers, especially if you're swing trading penny stocks in this market. Penny stock market is not hot. Penny stock market, whoever's telling you the penny stock market is hot, they're lying to you. Take a look at the IWM index, ETF, excuse me. IWM is a good parallel to what the penny stock market is and how it moves. Look, it's down today. Your penny stock should be down. So if one of your penny stocks is a 9% move today, congratulations. But if you look here, it's showing me signs of going back into retreat. We break out of this triangle again, we will enter pain for penny stocks if you're not playing the right ones, right? So you need to play the right ones. base and phase. I'll definitely take a look at BFLY. All right, so I'm going to jump into some questions from the chat in a second. I just want to touch on like 1 to 2 more stocks, and then I will jump into questions from the chat for sure, because I do want to cover them with you guys. I just want to check one thing parallel to this, just to kind of confirm one thing before I talk about it. I just want to get the name of it. Boom, 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 boom. All right, here we go. Where are you? By the way, NNDM is what I wanted to talk to you guys about, actually. NNDM is a stock that I've liked for a while. I don't add it if it goes over 6. I add it under 6. I always add under 6. And they had a big move today in the after hours, a 30% pop. It looks like they got news. I'm trying to find the news, the little news blip to share with you guys. NNDM has announced a partnership with Germany's Fraunhofer Institute to develop next generation 3D printers. An ARK Fund owns more than $50 million worth of NNDM shares. This is coming to you directly from Market Rebellion. This is good news, and clearly the stock price is reflecting it. Volume started flowing in when we got this news, so we can see that the market likes this news. We'll have to see if it plays out into tomorrow. Again, we have to see how this goes, because it could definitely do its thing. Mike, I appreciate you, man. My pleasure. I'm here to help. Fred, what's going on? Welcome back. Folks, listen to Jeff and smash that like button. I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching. Today was a slower day in the markets. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like today was a much slower day. We take a look at SPY. SPY had, I think, its first red day in a long time. Friday was technically red, but 0.02% down, but today was 0.36% down, testing that 90 MA. I think we could probably bounce tomorrow, but again, volume was on par. On par, actually. It wasn't that low. It was on par. But look, these indices have been running wild. Look, they've just been running. It's been a massive, massive run forever. Like ever since COVID happened, you had this run here. You had one little small blip in September. You had a small little blip in October into the election due to undecisiveness. When people don't know, when there's a variable that's unknown, there'll be undecisiveness and people will sell off. And there's just been massive runners. And like every single like month after kind of CPI or a little bit before CPI, you get little micro dips. We're testing the 50 MA. And I've made a full video on this on my YouTube channel. By the way, let me show you how you can get to that YouTube channel for those of you who are curious. If you go to ryanstocks.com, linked in the description, my YouTube channel is linked right here. If you click that, it will take you to my YouTube channel. You can click subscribe. I can't subscribe to my own channel. It won't let me. But I have videos here that will help you. Like, for example, if you like Hut 8, I made this video on Hut 8, got very good views, and I got hit up by the investor relations person, Sue, I believe her name is, from Hut 8, and we're trying to set up an interview to kind of get them on the channel. So we will hopefully have Hut 8 on the channel to kind of discuss with them what the deal is, talk to them about some of their things. She said she wanted to share some stuff with us on the channel, so subscribe to that channel to get that stuff there. But that correlation that I showed you, I explained it exactly here 4 weeks ago, which was a week before it happened, in this video. And this August CPI crashed the markets. Watch this. This video, I explained exactly how that correlation happens. And it played out exactly. So with my Patreon members, we were able to do it exactly straight up, and kind of they were able to kind of bank off it using puts, and we were prepared going into it. It's just a matter of being prepared and doing it. And these videos are 100% free. They're available to everyone. Every Wednesday, we do a weekly podcast. I try to upload once or twice a week on this channel, new videos. So I just wanted to make that aware to you. If you want a good Hut 8 analysis and kind of a breakdown of DD, it's only 15 minutes. If you watch this and you bought anytime during or after this video, you're technically still up. So it's there for you. So BBIG is a lot of folks are talking about. So let's start off with BBIG, and then I'll talk about some of those other stocks. BBIG, big, as a lot of people call it, BBIG or Vinco Ventures. This is a momentum play. Look, you can clearly see momentum play. Oh, here we go. Quentin's coming in. Podcasts are fire. Thank you so much, Quentin. He's discussing he's referring to the podcast, the Trading Together podcast that we have on my YouTube channel. Myself, Sung, Larry, and Fake, all 4 of us. It's a lot of fun. It's between an hour and a half. We talk stocks. We answer your questions in the chat. Subscribe to that YouTube channel, and you can definitely see it. So if you look here, 90 MA has been support here for big. it's been kind of doing its thing. Look at that after hours movement, massive, beautiful 11% mover in the after hours, just doing its thing, chugging along. This is what happens, right? With momentum plays, if one goes off, it's great. If two goes off, it's beautiful. But if it becomes too many, you get dispersed amongst too many plays, and then you don't have enough volume to move one or two. And that's the way that like these momentum plays really move, is you need the volume to be directed towards 1 to 2 stocks. Clearly today it was big and Clove. We can look at the overall market. We can see if there's any other movers today that were like massively large or like a big deal. But if you look here, big was a big one, ironically. Pins, these guys are just, let me see in terms of volume. Okay, now this is after hours, so I need regular hours, 1 day. So, wow, okay, so it looks like there's a lot of plays that had moves today. Looks like NAC, Northern did its thing. CEI is continuing its move. I know a lot of folks are on CEI and like it a lot. It's being pushed a lot. So this one's clearly a momentum play, but it looks like the dollar point is proving to be resistance for this stock a lot. It's doing its thing. Look, I'm not going to comment on it. I'm personally not in it. I'm not going to comment on it. It's none of my business if you guys want to play this or not. But hey, look, it's chugging along. It's an oil play. Just be careful with that, because oil is in a weird situation. VIH, we got to talk about VIH. VIH. I know Greg Gavin was here earlier. He's the one who's been kind of putting out a lot of DD around VIH. VIH. I don't even know how to say it. It's like V. It's a SPAC, right? So this is the thing about this SPAC. I'm going to turn off the indicators because they're really useless right now. I need MACD. I need my MACD. I'll keep my 9 EMA here, but this is a SPAC with essentially a low point of, okay, this is odd. It looks like it had to move once to 22. So 960 is essentially your floor on this one, right? That's like your low point. Some SPACs are 10. This one looks like it started at 960. How do I know? Like, look, this is the low point, 960, right? The lowest the stock has ever been is 960. So that's your kind of your floor until a D-SPACs is 960. And this one has a lot of shorts on it. I've looked at it myself. Gerg's posted his DD on it himself as well. I trust him that he says it's a high short percentage. He showed me it's truly a high short percentage, and it's attempted to get squeezed, right? I'm personally not in this play. I can't tell you that I'm in this play. I'm not. But if you look here, this has kind of been doing its move. How I would personally play this is I would use the 1 hour and the 50 MA, right? And I would play options on it. I would buy calls every time it touches the 50 MA and shows signs of recovery. And then I would sell the calls near open the next day, replay. Again, it looks like for the past 3 days, you could play it exactly just like that. So that's how I would play it. I would use the 50 MA and the hour chart. That's just what I would do. So just definitely keep that in mind. This is not something I would even sell into close. This isn't something I'd like to hold overnight. But I can tell you this for a fact. They haven't filed their registration form yet for the merger to go through. So I'm not worried about that. Merger date is something that's extremely public. So when the merger date is announced, it will be public. You will hear about it. But I would not hold this through a merger in hopes of a short squeeze through a merger, because you lose that floor. You lose that floor and things could get ugly. If you want to hold like a lotto position, 1 to 2 contracts, a few dozen shares, sure, whatever your risk tolerance is, but be very wary and don't get greedy with this play, because I would say that could lead you to lose some dinero, right? Lose some money, and we don't want you to lose money playing anything, right? So you should always aim to kind of mitigate your risk and maximize your profits. So play like this: short-term contracts, in and out quickly, high velocity, in and out. If you can day trade, even better. I wouldn't hold it into the next day, because you can see here momentum kind of picks up in the after hours and kind of loosens up. So keep that there. Another one that a lot of people like to talk about is GGPI. GGPI is not a highly shorted stock, but it's one of those SPACs that people are saying it could be merging with Polestar and could have a nice move. So this was on a move for Polestar rumor. It had a little move here. So this is what kind of doesn't excite me too much about it, is because when the Polestar rumor started, it only went to 1069. Now, definite agreement, a lot of people are playing this as a sell the news. Like literally, they're publicly saying we're going to sell the news. To me, that means like, hey, when the news comes out, people are going to start selling on any pop. So what's the point of me playing it now if it's going to go to maximum a 70-cent move? Unless I buy like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 shares, the risk reward's not there for me. And usually these things happen You could hear about it after hours, so I can't even play contracts on it. So it's not really worth it for me. That being said, Polestar could be really cool. Their cars do look really great. Easy Money says, no, I mean, it wasn't me. I don't laugh at anyone when they say something can go to 500, but and Moderna did its thing, right? mRNA, right? Moderna did its thing and went to very close to 500, and it's doing its little move here. This is very parallel, to keep this in the back of your head for 1 second. NVIDIA, very parallel charts, right? Into the S&P 500 jump, and now it's kind of ripped above its high point here. So this is null and void, but very, very interesting parallel charts here. But 9 EMA support. 9 EMA is looking to become my two favorite. If I had three favorite indicators for swing positions, it would be Bollinger Bands, 9 EMA, and the 50 moving average. Those three are my three favorite ones. If you're looking to learn technical analysis, by the way, in the Patreon course, which is available, go to ryanstocks.com, this tab right here. There's a few slots left. I think there's only one. Yeah, there's only one slot left. If you want to sign up, click this, sign up. You'll get access to the course with this tier. And you can you'll learn how, there's videos, short videos, and they're not like the 4-hour videos you see on YouTube. They're like short videos that explain to you exactly what each technical indicator is, how to use them with each other, and how to swing trade, how to day trade, all this other stuff. I'm working on a options playlist. So that's there. So, and if this does sell out, if this tier does sell out, just go to my Twitter, follow me there, and I can shoot you a DM. And shoot me a DM. I can't shoot you. You shoot me a DM and say, hey, I want this tier, and I'll talk to my team, see if we can add more slots. But you have to DM me. I can't like magically keep adding slots. You definitely have to shoot me a DM for that. On my Instagram, I did something very interesting for the first time. On my Instagram, I added a massive. So when Lucid came out, and Lucid did its SPAC. Not offering S1 filing went into effect, and they had a big drop, right? About a 10% drop, more than a 10% drop. We can kind of calculate it from here to here, about a 20% drop, right? I figured out that there are 4 other SPACs that are in the same boat as this. I alerted my patrons today. We added, and I made 2 of these 4 publicly available on my Instagram. So if you follow my Instagram, you can check it out there. I'm posting it there. So I'm trying to become more active on the Instagram. A few people were DMing me after the stream last time, asking me what the platform I was using is. This is called Webull. You can get 2 free stocks if you click here and deposit anything. So deposit $1, you get 2 free stocks. I just want to make that available. But the Patreon, definitely you want to do that, and you want to kind of make this your go-to if you want to learn technical analysis. By the way, I'm doing something really, really cool. One of my buddies, his daughter has a heart condition. I don't want to go too deep into it. That's none of my business. But what I'm doing is I've launched 2 shirt designs on my Teespring store. 100% of the profits will be going to the CARES Foundation, which raise money for this cause. If you guys know Drake dropped a new album, Certified Lover Boy, with a certain emoji on a shirt. So I thought, hey, what if I do 2 shirt designs? 100% of the profits will be going to that. Certified Bear Trader, stocks going down, and then Certified Bull Trader, stocks going up. So they're available. 100% of the profits will be going to the CARES Foundation. I'll publicly post the amount of sales that went through. I'll publicly post the screenshot of the donation going through. Then I got to find a CPA to help me figure out how that works, but that's not important. But if you want to support, if you go to ryanstocks.com, the very last link has these these 2 merch shirts there. If you buy either or both of these shirts, 100% of the profits will be going to the CARES Foundation to kind of help support that cause and help support my friend. I'm not going to say who it is. If he wants to publicly say it, that's up to him. But this is what I'm doing. With that, I wanted to let the Benzinga Nation know, because you guys are so awesome and supportive. I wanted to let you guys know. SPRNG will rip after DSPACs. I hope so. Let's talk about it. Let's look at it. That is one that I sold out of. SRNG is one that I sold out of because I believe you. This is the other thing. I believe you. A lot of DSPACs have been ripping and then dipping and then maybe ripping again. This is an interesting one because I know Kathy Wood's been loading the boat massively on this one, and I'm not a person who knows anything about genetics, so I buy ARCG for my genetics portfolio because I want exposure to genetics. But I don't know anything about it, so I just buy that one. But SRNG is one of the only stocks that I really, 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 really like in this space, and it's quite affordable. I'm just waiting for my catalyst to play out before I buy into it again. I've been burned by too many SPACs. I see how these SPACs play out. If we look at, like, for example, Hippo, right? Hippo is a big one that everyone's talking about. Hippo de-SPACed, went to $3, and now this is being pumped, by the way. Like, this has become a momentum play, so this isn't normal. This is a beautiful candle, by the way. Beautiful closed candle here, nice little hammer. I think I'm gonna have to play this tomorrow. Let's see, how would I play this tomorrow? I would probably play the 7.5, not puts. I'd probably play the 7.5 calls. Or I would go in the money and play the $6 call. But really, this is how I like to play calls. I like to buy them, and then as they go into the money, they kind of like bump up. So I'd like to play the 7.5s and take it from there. But I know this is being pushed a lot, so I think that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. So there you guys go, Zinger Nation. You got one of the playlists, one of the watch list of plays that are going to be on the watch list tonight. Hippo, $7.5 call swing play. If momentum play holds up, so I have to wake up. I have to make sure volume is still there. Look, we're losing a little momentum in the after hours, but you have to like look at it, see like how much volume is it? 8,000, 25,000, 159 versus 1 million, 2 million. This is clearly is negligible. Negligible. Real volume that I really look at is into the open, into the first 30 minutes, first hour. That's what I kind of look at. Travel World Magazine, what's going on? Welcome back. Thank you for always watching and supporting. Really appreciate you. Also, a Patreon member now. Welcome to the team. Larry, Hamara, Larry's in the podcast that I told you guys about, which you can see on the YouTube channel. But definitely, I just want to let you guys know about those shirts, YouTube channel, all that other good stuff that is there. It's there for you. So let's talk about some of the stocks that you guys want to talk about. We got about a little bit less than half an hour, and then I have to do a few one-on-one meetings with my Patreon members. So let me scroll up. Any idea why stocks are dumping today? Bark, Portera, Body, etc. So Body is garbage. I'm sorry to say, Body is a company that I believe should be between $5 to $6, and the stock price is reflecting it. This is the thing. I talk about this all the time. Fundamentals will always and eventually catch up to you, even the overvalued fundamentals, right? Like Tesla at 900 eventually caught up to them, came down to 600, came down to 500, came down to 400, right? Body's the same thing. This should be between a $5 to $6 stock, in my opinion. Let's give it some grandeur, some little juice, $7 a share. That's my personal opinion on Body. And I've done a deep dive on them because I wanted to invest in Body when I was looking at Peloton, which I'm really curious about the price action of Peloton today. So Peloton's really stinking it up nowadays. I started a small position in Peloton, and it's kind of been bleeding. I'm going to hold it because I like Peloton long term, but it needs to recover from what happened after earnings. I still think they'll be fine. Bark is an interesting play. Bark isn't doing so bad. I'll be honest with you. Bark rallied from $6.70 all the way to $8.82. So a little bit of a sell-off today is not a bad thing. You're consolidating. Plus, you held your 9 EMA, which is my golden rule. You want to hold the 9 EMA. So I'm very happy with how the 9 EMA held. 50 EMA, you lost it today. It's become resistance. But I think if you break that, you can go higher. Now, Bark is one that I think is very interesting. If you guys aren't familiar with Bark, I'll try to show you original Bark. I want to bring you guys a website. They're operating in some of our favorite family members' space, the pet space. So the pet space is getting bigger. So it's doing its thing. They do grooming, hiking, boarding, locations, all this stuff. So I don't want to go too deep into them, but they're an interesting play. I'd say definitely look into them, do your own DD. These guys, I do believe, again, between $7 and $8 is a fair price. But if I were to buy it, look for the low points and go there. I want to see, did Bark do its secondary filing? I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did their secondary filing on the 1st and then went into effect on the 6th, 5 days later. Okay, beautiful. So they did their thing. So essentially, a lot of your negative catalysts are gonzo. Which is good. So Bark is doing its thing. You also asked about Portera. Portera is one that is very interesting. Larry loves Portera. I love Portera. I don't have a position in Portera yet. I will eventually. But Portera, look, again, same movement. $8 to $11 and cooled off today to $10. Like it's only a $1.47 move. Like, don't look at the percentage. Yeah, I get it. It's a big drop. If your whole portfolio is in Portera, you're going to feel the move. But really, it's $1 a share move. It's not a big deal. $1.50 a share move, and then it's recovering very, very well in the after hours. So Portera is one that I'm never worried about. So yeah, I hope that answered all three. Clove we discussed. Can you please discuss BFLY? When to get in or stay in? Okay, so sure. I liked BFLY. I was in BFLY when it was a SPAC. I sold when it de-SPACed, and it kind of had like a bit of a run. A lot of the chart isn't here for some reason. No, this isn't it. I need BFLY. BFLY. Okay, so it was a SPAC. As you can see here, the chart here, it ran to the 20s. I didn't sell up there. I sold here in like the mid 10, 15s. It de-SPACed, crashed down. It's got momentum moving to it, but it's a good company. That's the other thing, is it's a good company. They need to catch up to, they need to kind of, the valuation's a little rich right now at 2.5 bill, 2.57 billion. Market cap is a little rich, but hey, if I were to buy this company, I'd like to buy it in the $9-10 area personally. That's just how I would operate, and then I would do it. But it's not a bad company. It's one of those dollar cost average companies, because if you look here, it's a perfect example of buy down here, buy up here, buy down here, buy up here, buy down here, buy up here, and you'll be right in smack dab in the middle. So it's a dollar cost average company, in my opinion, for the long term. Base. I don't know this company. Couchbase. This is a furniture company. This is the first time we got a furniture company. This is a furniture company. I'm just kidding. It's a modern database and enterprise application company. Cloud. Wow. Okay. It looks a lot like MongoDB. Looks like you IPO'd or de-IPO'd. I hope it's clearly an IPO, because there was no sell-off. If there's a de-IPO, we'd have a massive sell-off. And it looks like they IPO'd right into earnings, which is a smart thing to do, especially if you know the earnings are going to be good. Smash that like button for hell's sake, folks. Like, it's so light today down there, but it's all right. Take a look at this. 9 EMA's holding. It's doing its thing. You are getting a little bit weaker here. You're kind of flattening out, which is okay. Are options a thing on this? Not yet. Okay. So options trading hasn't been activated yet on this play, but it looks like it's doing its thing. Not bad this is a strong IPO. Now, one thing to remember is a lot of these IPOs that have been happening in 2021 do go back to their IPO level or sub IPO. Hood, for example, IPO to 38. I believe it opened at 38. Yep, ran to 85 and it's coming back down. I do believe this will come back down to the mid 30s. Eventually, not Humble. I'm sorry. What is Jessica Alba's company? Honest company, very similar situation. I think they de-IPO'd though. Let me see. Honest brand IPO. Honest brand IPO direct. Let's see. It looks, yeah, they did a direct IPO, a de-IPO. So de-IPO sells off. They balanced out, they held it, and then they took a dive on earnings. I like Honest IPO from what I've seen from them. But it needs time, man. Taking a hit this heavy, you have shareholders that are now down tremendously. If you added on IPO day, let's just say you screw IPO day, let's just say you added there, right? You're down about 50% from your initial investment. People sell faster than they buy. Just remember that. Enphase is a company I like a lot. The solar play, energy play company. Strong company. Look, Enphase has been struggling though. Enphase has been trading within a box, within these Bollinger Bands, right? Between 160 and 200. I like Enphase towards the 160, 150 area. I'll be honest with you. Like the 155, 150 area. I love it. If I could catch it in the hundreds again, I'd definitely load up. But I think between the 155 and lower area is where you want to get Enphase. Here it's a little rich. And you can see the charts telling you the same too. Like, hey, we're going down. Right? So Enphase would be something I'd look for puts tomorrow, maybe. Let's see. Let's refresh the data. All right. So open interest is low, which automatically turns me off from this. So you'd have to go in the money for OI. See, look at that. The open interest is really high on this play for the 150 calls. So I would look. I'd go a little farther out. OI is too low. OI is low. Yeah, I don't expect to have a massive drop that far out. If I were to play it, I'd probably day trade the 150 puts on Enphase. That's what I would do. Big, we discussed. Humble. Let's talk about Humble. I know a lot of people like to discuss this as a crypto play. I believe this is OTC, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. If you're still here in the chat, a lot of people post questions and they just disappear. I'm like, where'd you go? Kathleen, I think I owe you a DM. I have to look at my DMs. I get too many of them, so I will look at my DMs and I will figure out how to help you get into there. I'll help you do the sign up process. Just can you please shoot me a DM again? I apologize. It's been a hectic weekend. So Humble, look at that massive move, gapped up. So this clearly doesn't move with Bitcoin, right? It clearly doesn't care about Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a terrible day today, so you can't rely on Bitcoin taking it up if it doesn't move up with Bitcoin, right? So had a good day, very good day. Finally broke the dollar point on it. But again, you're above the Bollinger Band, which means I think you'll fill this gap. I think it'll come down, fill this gap, bounce off the 50 MA, and then go again. That's how I see Humble playing out. All right, we're down to 15 minutes. Final 15. Milan, I discussed Riot earlier. Not a huge fan of them. When is the correction coming? I have no idea, man. I'm not a fortune teller. So I'll tell you from my understanding. I think we could get. It wouldn't be a correction; it'd be a dip larger than usual. After CPI this round, we'll probably get another dip to the 50 MA on SPY, and then I'm thinking November. I'm thinking, again, my prediction to you guys was always around Halloween plus or minus 10 days is when we get a correction starting, right? This correction doesn't happen in one day. It takes time. I think around Halloween. That's my prediction. Mark it down. I've said it before. I'll say it again. The reason is I sat down one night. I compared the bond yield rates to SPY and how corrections occur and how bond yields adjust to that. So that was kind of a red flag to me. Plus, what parallels that for me again is we're not going to get tapering this month and we won't get it next month. So the Fed said we need 2 months in a row of good jobs reports. So last month's jobs report was garbage. So whatever we get in October, if it's good, that'll be good. And then if we get another good jobs report in November, then tapering hits. So AKA November, right? That's what I'm thinking. Again, don't hold me to it. We discussed. Can you talk about my crypto moving? Yeah, we discussed, Tony. We just did a massive discussion on crypto in the beginning. Chewy, let's talk about Chewy. Chewy's a stock that a lot of folks love, but ugly earnings, took a dive. It's going to take a time. It's like exactly like my Peloton. Exactly like my Peloton. Very parallel. Look at that. Dive on earnings and just being ugly. Again, folks, if you want to learn how to do this kind of analysis, I don't even know if this slot's even available. It probably is right now. But we'll see. Let's see if we sold out. We got one slot left in the Patreon. If you guys want it, go grab it. RyanStocks.com. It comes with a course, so you can learn how to do technical analysis. It comes with watch lists, options watch lists, stocks watch lists. A lot of good. We've done massive results. Even today, we had a lot of really good movers. We already started printing. So SoFi, I alerted in there, and today was up about 75% at a certain point on those SoFi calls. So just between us, I think it's worth it. Can you look at the daily on Lots? Sure. Lots is interesting. So Lots, the way that I've been reading about used cars is, and Lots operates in the used car area, is that a lot of people already bought their cars for the fall. So these guys are going to suffer next earnings because their biggest earnings were last, and already it doesn't look like they had good earnings. So Lots is something that I'm not touching. I wouldn't touch, in my personal opinion. Could it become an eventual momentum play? Yes, but how long are you going to hold it? How long is it going to bleed? I think that if you break that 9 EMA right here, if you break this $4 and 185, I would cut it. That's my personal opinion. And if you want to have, if you got stones, if you got like iron stones, you could hold it to $4, and if it breaks $4, then you can cut it. But personally, I'm not a big fan of Lots. Path earnings reaction comments. Oh, I didn't even know Pat had earnings. Let me take a look. Let me just sign into my Benzinga. I completely forgot about all the earnings today. Let me see if I can pull up the Benzinga calendar. Benzinga. Where are you? Earnings calendar. Okay, so you said Path. There you go, Path UI. On this screen, I'm scrolling. Oh, look at that. That's ugly. That's a big drop. So just give me 1 second. I'm just finding that calendar. I don't know why it's not pinned. Where are you? Okay. Come on. I don't got all day. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, here it is finally. Here it looks like the only Slack and UiPath are the two that reported earnings this week, today, after hours, that are kind of important. So let's take a look. UiPath beats EPS, beats sales, sees guidance of 207 to 209 versus 206. So they raised guidance and they beat estimates. What's the issue? Earnings were good. Oh, I guess because they're in line with the sales forecast, so they're going down. So why would you sell off? Why would Path sell off if it's in line with sales forecasts? Like, that's a good thing. Like, you can't always keep raising guidance. Like, it doesn't make sense, especially in this market, to just continuously raise guidance. That's just my opinion. I don't know. It's a silly sell-off, in my opinion, for Path. But I'd wait, let it find a bottom, and then see where it goes. Ray, thank you so much for your super chat. Appreciate you. Benzinga team will appreciate that. For the correction, I'm looking to swing SQQQ and SPX. I think you mean SPXS. I would swing commons, Ray. I would swing commons. I wouldn't swing calls, because this is the thing. You could, but you'd have to go deep. You'd have to go deep in the money, right? You'd have to go in the money at least, right? So let's say you wanted, there's no November, so you have to go into the December if you got gutsy with it, and you'd have to do like $7 calls. You could do it, actually. This is $100. You're kind of commanding it. Yeah, I'd probably do the $7 call, or if you want to get a little bit gutsy with it, do the $6 call for December 2021. That's what I would do for SQQQ, personally. But I think buying shares might be better. Oh, do you want to do 22 calls? Okay. So we'll go one more down. So I imagine January is what you're looking at. So yeah, I would definitely do the 6. If you're doing 2022, I definitely do the 6, because SQQ could rally for the next month or two. So you want to do 6, or I'd even do 5. All right. I'd follow the open interest. I'd do 5. It's a little more pricier. Buy less of them, less risk to you. I definitely do the 5s personally. Again, I'm not a financial advisor by any means. That should blanket the whole freaking thing, right? I would wait for implied volatility to come down. When I would add SQQQ is I would wait for a green day, like a day where like QQQ is doing very well. So if I'm assuming you already know SQQQ is the inverse of QQQ. I'd look for a day where look like last Friday or on the 30th, where it had like a really green day, and those prices will be tanking and implied volatility will be lower. So you could probably get them for much cheaper then. So I definitely use that time period to buy into SQQQ then. So SPXS, I'm assuming, because there's no SPX. Okay, so oh, I see. There's an SPX. Okay, so you want to buy this one. All right, cool. I think this is a 3x leveraged one, or this is the non-3x leveraged one. Yeah, this is the 3x leveraged one as well. So with this one, this one's a little bit pricier, right? So I would do the same thing, right? Look, your implied volatility is decent, but it's not that high. I would go and wait for a day for SPY to have like a really green day, right? Like 155, whatever we get to. Then I'd start scaling into this one. But I depending on the price that day, I'd do the 10 or I'd really do the 10. I'd really do the 10 personally, because the 10, now the OI is so low on the 10. The OI on these are so low. The 15. I'd do the 15. Because you never want to buy something with a low OI, because then if something happens and the interest isn't there, you have no one to sell it to. So it's usually useless. So I do the 15s for this one. Again, not a financial advisor. Please do whatever's best for you. Yeah. HIMS is pumping a bit today on news. What news did HIMS have? 4%. HIMS and hers signs. So they were signed Gronk to partnership. Cool. Not worthy of a deal in my opinion, because that's going to cost you money, but that's going to hurt the balance sheet. But hey, if it works, it works. How's OSK chart looking? Let's take a look. Sorry. OSTK. Overstock. Flat. Overstock's looking flat. Looks like it wants to fight. Needs to break that 90 EMA, but it looks like it's in consolidation mode. It took a massive dive. Now it's consolidating. It's going to take some time. One of the best known. Yeah, buddy. I know who Gronk is. But no, thank you for sharing, though. I appreciate it. Listen to World Travel Magazine. Hit that like button. And I hope you guys all have a successful week. I do have to sign out in about 3 minutes. I do have to leave. But I do want to plug again one more time. I'll try to throw in a stock or two in a second. If you guys throw them in the chat, I'll try my best. The Patreon's there if you guys want to sign up. Watch list, profitable plays on swings on both penny stocks and options. I'll show you one we had from last night, UUU, 7% runner today. And we added it last week, believe it or not. It's having a massive, massive move. Very good there. Same thing with DNN. Massive, massive mover from last week into this week. It's just chugging along and doing its thing. So it's doing a great, great move. Brandon, we did cover SOS. BLAQ, Buddha, we did cover right as well. Just scrub to the beginning of the episode. You'll definitely see it there. Jeff, appreciate you so much, man. DK, thank you so much. My pleasure. Thank you so much for watching. Is there any hope for API? Let me see. Who's API? Looks good. Look at that candle. That's a good candle. Looks good. I think there's hope for API. I think, again, big thing. So again, remember, there's only one slot left. If you want it, go get it. If it sells out, you can DM me, but I probably can't promise adding any more slots, at least for this month. I think we're probably not going to add any more slots for this month. So that's the last one there. If you want it, go grab it and come join the team. So as always, folks, thank you so much for watching. Remember, ryanstocks.com has all the links. If you want to support buying that shirt, all 100% of the proceeds will be going to the CARES Foundation. These two shirts right here, Certified Bull Trader, Certified Bear Trader, 100% of the proceeds will be going to that charity to be able to help my buddies know there's cause. So please support if you can. And if you can't, support by hitting the like button. It's literally free. I'm still flabbergasted at the amount of you that watch that don't hit the like button. But again, it's none of my business. So thank you so much for watching, folks. I appreciate you. Have a great day or night. Remember, this is important. I'm going to be doing a very, very important video on the YouTube channel. It'll be coming out this week. Very, very important. Yeah. Go to the YouTube channel, hit subscribe. BrianStocks.com YouTube, hit subscribe. Another important video. If you want to learn about Hot 8, the video is here. So yeah, especially if you play SPACs, this video will be very, 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 very important to you. You need to watch it. It's like a fantastic strategy that I'm kind of putting out there on how to make money on SPACs. I finally figured it out again. They change so fast. So please keep that in mind, and we will see you next time, folks. Thank you. Bye-bye.